What's up, guys? All right, injury report. Yetur, knee will not practice. Jordan Watkins, ankle will not practice. Juwan, calf limited. Pooney, knee limited. Jordan James, finger limited. Go ahead.
Has the team voted on the captains yet?
Yes, same as last year with Fred, George, Brock, Trent, Christian, Nick, and Juice. Demo replaced Debo. So that's 8.
Are you expecting Juwan to play on Sunday?
Yes.
Everything's fine physically with him?
He's limited. Yeah, he looked good on Monday. Getting back into it. Having all that time off, we got to ease him in and stuff. So we'll see how this week goes. That's why he'll be limited today. But he's healthy enough to play football, and hopefully that continues.
Did you get a final MRI? Was there any kind of final testing to make sure the calf was okay?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, so he's good to go.
Did Yetur have a setback?
No.
Just interested to know how the effect that it's been since Juwan's been back. I mean, Pooney lit up the effect on the team, and you guys looked happy to have him back out there on Monday. Pooney lit up when he was asked about Juwan, saying it was his favorite player on the team. What does he do for the locker room now that he's actually in there every day? I mean, he's been around.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel like he's been gone because he's been around every day, so we get to spend time with him and all that. Having him back on the practice field Monday was awesome. I mean, we love JJ. When he's not there, he's greatly missed, and the way he carries himself, the energy he plays with, and how good of a player he is makes everyone very excited.
Obviously, there's been plenty of talk about his contract situation and everything. Can you say if there's any sort of resolution as far as the business side of things?
No, I don't think there's totally resolution. It's the business side. I think I said at the beginning of training camp how badly myself and everyone in this building wants Juwan back in the long term. We want Colton McKivitz back. Those are 2 guys that we really hope to keep here. But they're both going into their contract year, and nothing's ever final, but we'll see how it plays out. But there's a business side to both sides, but it's something that I think both sides would love to get worked out. Just don't know if we can.
Why was that move made as far as the active roster and the practice squad of switching Valdez-Scantling and Gage? And would you expect both of them to be active on Sunday?
I think they both have a shot to be, a real good shot. So, there's a lot of layers to that move. It's not as simple as just one thing. A lot of things for now, a lot of things for the future. But my biggest thing was making sure that both of them are still on our team, and they both are, and they both have as good of a chance to be out playing here on Sunday.
Marquez get into the chemistry with Brock Purdy and fit into your scheme?
It was nice to have him out of practice Monday. It was nice that, him playing for Clint Kubiak in New Orleans last year for half the year, and then being in Seattle this whole offseason. There's a lot of carryover and stuff with just plays and some terminology, and he's a vet who's been around a lot of stuff, so he seems like he's going to pick it up fast. He has in the practices and got the game plan today, so don't want to put too much on him, but we need him to learn it as he goes and be ready to help us on Sunday if he can.
What do you expect to see from that Seahawks offense, given your familiarity with Kubiak and Darnold?
I think there's some very similarities. It's always different how you adjust your players, but I know they're going to be a balanced team that wants to put Sam in some good situations and give that ball to their good running backs, and then it usually comes down to third down. So it's real similar to us. There's window dressing that's different, but the way that they want a game to go, I think it's going to be very similar to how we want it to go.
I know you don't watch a lot of offensive film maybe, but they didn't run it well last year, Seattle, but they've run it really well this summer. Have you peeked at their run game? Is there anything noticeable?
Yeah, it's a different style run game. It's very similar to ours and the stuff that they do. Just being with Clint and being with John Benton for a long time is one of the best line coaches there is. They all, I worked with those guys back in Houston. John was here for a number of times. Clint was here 2 years ago. So there's lots of similarities in what they do, and they ran it well in the preseason, and we'll see how it is week 1.
You opened the season in 2 loud buildings in Seattle and in New Orleans. Is that problematic early in the season before maybe everything is totally gelled?
It can be. That's why we're really working on it hard. Started doing that last week. We're going to do it all this week. Usually that's enough, but there are a number of new guys who are just hopping in and stuff, so they got to get used to the cadences and all the differences with emotions and things like that. But it's always a challenge, but we challenge them throughout the week, and hopefully by Sunday it feels second nature to us.
Obviously, Michael missed a little time with the knee, but how did you see him come along from when he got here to where he is now, and what's kind of his state of readiness for what I would assume is a big role.
Well, he's looked good in the last few practices he's been a part of, and it'll get more and more each day this week. I think it's always hard when you miss a lot of camp. You got hurt, before the first Denver preseason game, and didn't come back till after the last preseason game. So it's always tough to catch that up. But health-wise, he's doing good. He's hopping and getting all the reps, and he's going to just keep getting better the more reps he gets.
Would you say that the youth on defense presents your biggest challenge this season?
I think it's possible. I mean, there's a number of challenges. Depends how they go. I mean, we also have some vets stepping up, so they might not all have to go right away. But and we're going to play a lot of young guys as this year goes, and we're going to start out doing that. Getting a lot of those guys back has been nice, but those guys missing a lot of camp too has been a struggle. Starting with Michael and looking at guys like Stout and things like that. Getting CJ West back here last week too. So hopefully we had a good week of practice, get them back in the thick of things, and they have a good first game.
Alfred
Any
Collins'
extra,
progress from coming back from the injury.
Who's that?
Alfred Collins.
From college?
I mean, just from being injured to getting
He's been
back.
awesome. I mean, missing OTAs, missing the offseason. You never know, especially with such a big guy. When they can't go through all the conditioning and other stuff we're doing, it's usually a worry because you're rehabbing the calf so much and all the stuff that he had. But when he came back, it took him a little bit of time to get his legs under him. That was a cool thing to watch. I was always nervous he was going to get hurt and then miss the next 2 weeks or something like that. But he fought through it, was able to stay healthy, kept grinding every day, and eventually got his conditioning, got his legs back, and thought he had a real good camp and give him a chance to have a real good year.
Did it add any oomph or excitement to open against a division rival?
I guess a little. I mean, usually when it's all said and done, the division games count more. But to me, the ump's always there for the first game anyways. You just got to think about it all week, and you just wait till the first kickoff, then you kind of feel normal once that happens. There's always unknowns with both teams, whether it's a division opponent or not. You always feel that way until the ball's kicked, and then you feel pretty normal again.
You guys were pretty clear when you got Brian Robinson that he was going to be the backup running back, and I think John even said that you were kind of hoping James was, and the finger kind of slowed him down. Does that mean Garendo's got lost a little bit here? What's gone on with him this summer?
I don't think that he's gotten lost. I just think he's competing, and I think last year, I think he was the third back last year, and then a couple guys got hurt, and they got an opportunity, and I thought he did well in his opportunity, but that didn't mean he was the first or second back all of a sudden. He had to come into camp and still compete with guys, and he got hurt really early and missed a lot of time to compete. And we brought Brian in, we've studied him over his career, and based off of that, we put him ahead of him, and that's how we are starting out, and we'll see how it goes throughout the year.
What makes Mike McDonald a good defensive play caller?
Play calling to a degree. To me, it's just how he runs his whole scheme. They got a thread of everything. It's a sound defense and how it starts out. Real hard to get big plays on. When you say he's sound and hard to get plays on, that usually sounds real conservative, which it is in those areas, but they also know how to put pressure on you. He does a good job calling his blitzes. He times them out right, does good ones to stop the run, good ones to stop the pass, and is a Rolodex of coverages, so it's always hard to get a beat.
What's the impact of Gus Bradley so far? He's obviously a former NFL head coach. What has he added to your staff?
Gus has been a stud. Never got a chance to work with him until this year, and he's probably like the most upbeat guy on our staff. We love having him around. He's a great guy to hang out with. Saleh a ton. Saleh, I would say Gus mentored Saleh early in his career, especially at Jacksonville and stuff, and then they've been separate for a while. So now for them to get back together after they started together, they see it a lot different, but they're always from the same foundation. And to have someone like that to bounce ideas off of, and where he went to and where Saleh's gone to, I think is really cool for Saleh to have, and just for our building to have. Like, Gus is talking to everybody. It's not just the defense. You see random people in his room all the time. He cares a lot about people. He's a really easy guy to talk to, and he kind of has that relationship with really everybody in our building, and he's done it real fast.
Have you guys decided on your starting safeties?
Yes.
Three.
Speaking of safeties, Jair Brown has kind of had an up and down first and second year. Where do you feel like he's at this point?
I love Jair. I think he's, he got his opportunity when Huff got hurt, and he came in, and I want to say it was 7 games his rookie year after Huff got hurt, and I thought had a hell of a year. I thought he battled a lot of stuff last year with injuries, and he battled a lot of stuff in this offseason too, and then had a setback in training camp where he missed some time. but the more the more Tig is out there, Jair, the better he gets, the more consistent he gets. But he's just been up and down with injuries.
In your last 3 in Seattle, I know different regimes, you've had some different players too, but is there a commonality? And that's a very tough place to play, obviously. In those 3 wins, what you did right to get those wins?
No, I really don't even think about that totally. I mean, I didn't know that till you just said that. I mean, I know to win in Seattle with how loud it is and stuff, you have to be on the cadence and on the noise and all that stuff. I mean, that's the first way to lose a game when you go up there. I've done that plenty of times, not just here, but other places when I've gone there in my career. So historically, it's been one of the toughest places to play, just noise-wise. And if you don't have that handled, sometimes it doesn't even matter what happens in the game.
With the styles that the safeties play, Pinnock and Jair and Marquise, is there a big advantage in your mind not allowing Seattle to know quite yet who those 2 starters are going to be?
No, I don't think a huge advantage.
The 2 starters.
So it could be a little advantage. I don't want to give any advantage. So.
This offseason where you realized that McCaffrey was all the way back, and what does he mean for other guys' confidence, other guys on the team as far as him being all the way back?
I mean, just having a player like him, I mean, to be the offensive MVP 1 year and then really miss the whole next year, I mean, it was really tough on him, tough on us. And I knew Christian was back just once he told me he was healthy. I mean, it's not like we were thinking he wouldn't come back from it. You know, you hope that stuff, the arthritis and everything goes away, which it usually does. And he was telling us that early in the offseason, so I felt pretty good about it. And Christian's not a liar, so I didn't think he was. And then we saw him early in OTAs. He looked like the guy we've always known, and he's continued that.
How important is it for Christian McCaffrey as confidence to get the ball early in Seattle?
I don't think it changes his confidence at all. I think it might change his irritation level. But I mean, Christian's ready whenever that ball touches him. So he would prefer every play. Hopefully it comes earlier than later, and it usually does with running back. So
Beyond Ricky and Juwan, it seems like it's wide open, like who the other receivers could be. How much is this plan kind of fluid as far as how these guys execute the plays out here as you put in the game plan?
Very fluid. I mean, it's guys that we got a hunch about. I mean, there's guys like that have been here for a bit, like that's, especially like Gage and stuff. He's been around here since last year and had a real good offseason, but finished those last 2 weeks hurt, which made some uncertainty about him, but I got a much better idea there. Just getting MBS here, guys like Robbie and stuff who joined later in the deal, Malik Turner. All those guys have an opportunity to help us. We're going to most likely get 5 up for the game. Sky Moore's another new one. All these guys have been here really the last week, and they've all been working. But they definitely need 3 more days of practice to see which ones we want to put in which role.
You said in training camp that Christian was not going to change as a dad, that you thought he'd still be a psycho. Is he still a psycho?
Yeah, that's his DNA. So his dad is too, in an awesome way.
Last one, Brent.
It was noted, I guess Monday, Juwan gave you and John Lynch, hugs or whatever. So it's like, whoa, everything's great. But obviously we don't know. But I mean, whatever was going on throughout training camp, I mean, as a relationship, do you feel like emerged intact and okay as you begin?
Yeah, I have no issues with Juwan and relationship. They didn't report on the hugs Saturday, Monday, Tuesday.
Monday was the reporting down the
That was the real one. No, Juwan's all love, and no, that was never personal. It's business, and that's the tough thing about this. I want every player to make as much money as possible. I want every coach. I want everybody to. It's just hard in situations to always do that. But that's something as a coach you're always pulling for. But also I do understand the business too. Sometimes it's hard when other people don't. So you got to communicate with people and stuff like that so it doesn't become personal. But the relationship I've always had with Juwan, never really worried about that. All right, thanks guys.